Alright everyone, welcome back to today's video, and I just wanted to briefly showcase to you in a deck profile that I'm going to show to you guys today in a format where we have seen now it's a new rotation, it's a new shift. We are now focusing towards where now the focus is on Ryzeal, Malice, and all the different variants of it. Fiendsmith, everything is everywhere in the format. Tempire is still not dead. I feel like with all these decks competing for the top spot, there's one deck that kind of still has a lot of creativity that is still yet untapped, and I feel like it is a good meta contender, or not even a meta contender, but a rogue option that can still compete with the best and catch a lot of people off guard. And of course, it's White Forest. I was a fan of the runic White Forest variant, but in this format I do not think it works, especially because you can against Malice it is a death sentence. But regardless, pure White Forest, White Forest toy box Azamina, that's what you're going to see most people play. But I feel like they still haven't untapped into a really cool tech that you could use in that deck, which is actually Ryzeal. So the deck profile I'm about to showcase to you now is Ryzeal White Forest Azamina toy box. It is a mouthful, but hopefully through this deck profile you'll start to see how these two engines start to bridge together. And in the next video that I upload, I'll showcase to you guys a basic combo, maybe some test hands to show you how you bridge from White Forest all the way into Ryzeal. But yeah, without any further comments, let's hop straight in. Okay, let's start off with the stuff you will know. This is pure White Forest, so we can play 3 LZ and 3 Estella. There's so many times, like, I know in White Forest Runic we'd never play this card because if this thing gets stopped we have no tuner access and it is a bit rough, even with pistols. But in this variant it's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. I was initially playing 2, right, because I was so scared that if this gets negated it's kind of rough, right? But because we play so many, like the sack cards, right, we play in the worst case scenario you sack a woes or a tails, that and your Estella gets negated. That is still beautiful because you can just reset, reactivate the tails and search your Rushia and pop off, or you can set the woes and just know you have a Book of Moon on your opponent's turn or Book of Eclipse on your opponent's turn, which is great, right? And with toy box, like, you negate this, but sure, I'm gonna get another level 4 body with the toy monster I sent to grave, right? So I still feel like Estella here is really good, and to anyone who's still trying to pick up the deck and is worried about these ratios, it is okay to play this at 3, right? So those are the 2 non-tuners, and then we play 3 Sylvie, 2 Rushia. Now I know some lists do this or some lists do this, but honestly, because we're playing Ryzeal, this becomes more crucial, number 1. Number 2, this on its own, it gives you such a nice minimal board even through all the Fuvaroses, right? So through Fuvaros, right? You get Fuvaros, you activate this, add woes, set woes, pass. In the worst case scenario, if you have no other hand, like if you have hand traps in hand and you know you can still deal with your opponent's turn coming up, you could just do that and then they go neg1, right? Card economy is very important. And what you need to understand with this deck is not a deck that's like with all the other synchro decks I play where you're going to one-shot kill and build an impressive board. No, this deck is going to outgrind your opponent and it's going to take time, but when you get there, they've ran through their resources, you just put all your shit back and you summon their stuff again and you overwhelm and you kill. And that's the one thing the runic variant can't do, right? Because this deck and that deck can grind, but the difference is this deck can grind and kill whenever we choose, right? And we have more versatility. But anyways, to finish off the White Forest stuff, you play 2 woes and 1 tails. I'm so tempted to play this at 3, but I think 2 does the job, and 1 tails. You can attempt to play with Scourge and Beware of the White Forest, the Omni Negate, the Pop, those 2 White Forest cards. Completely up to you, right? I do not think it's wrong. I just wanted a more clean list. And honestly, I never really used it when I was playing them. Like, I just didn't really opt to search for it unless I hard opened it, right? So for me, this worked really well. And then from there, that's kind of standard, just ratios. From there, we play the Azamina package, 3 wanted, 2 Black Witch, astoundingly, because I think it's the curse of every person who plays the Wanted engine, that if you play 3-3, you're gonna open up 3 of this, or you're gonna open up 2 of this, or you're gonna open up multiples of these, and it's just brick hell, and you just never want to be in that situation. So I initially was playing this at 3. I cut this down to 2, depending on how many more matches I go through. Again, I'm still in testing, so the more matches I go through, I might even cut this to 1, or maybe leave it at 2, depends on my hands. And then of course the 1 Deception and the 1 Hallowed Azamina. You can get away with playing 2. It does come up at times, not as much as what you would think, but I still think 1 and 1 is perfect for me. And because you can recycle all of this. This is going to reset itself in the end phase. This can add itself back and reactivate it again. You can do multiple crazy lines with it. So I think that 1 and 1 is fine. 2 of this and 3 Wanted. And from there we have the Toy Box engine. Of course, play 3 Toy Box, and then majority of players will go 1 and 1. I go 2 and 2. And the reason why this is so beautiful, like I would even put Toy Soldier to 3, maybe Toy Tank to 1, but this is beautiful because I don't want to show it now, but like it's pretty self-explanatory that if you have access to this, set this and this, Black Witch summon itself, send this to grave, Black Witch chain 1, Toy Soldier chain 2 to summon itself, you chain block this, which is really nice. And then on summon effect to add, you add, because you got the Toy Box, you can now add this, which is now full combo. So I really love the fact that your non-engine can get you to your full combo, right? And this is what, and like the fact that it's bodies to synchro with, and its spell trap fodder is beautiful. Like it is one of the most underrated engines I've ever seen, and beautiful. Like for me, 2, 2, 3. I love this so much. The part that everyone has hopped onto this video for, because I said people are not playing White Forest correctly. We play 1 Ryzeal Cross, 1 X Ryzeal, and 1 Sword Ryzeal. Now, there's very different ways to approach this, and again, I will explain exactly how we get into this engine in the combo tutorial. But the basic idea is, all I'm going to say is we have level 4 bodies that spam themselves out for free. Instead of making a Dweller, which is still very powerful, all I'm saying is you could just overlay those 2 for a duo drive, and then the next thing you know, you have a Sword Ryzeal and a Cross in hand. Activate Cross, special sword effect, add X sack aggregator for cost, summon itself, and now you've got a duo drive that can attach the detonator that can attach the aggregator. So really cool, and it's a very minimal engine, and even if you brick on it, it's not really a brick. The only hard brick is this, but then again, it's spell and trap fodder. I may, like, again, it's completely up to you on how you play this. These 2 are mandatory. This you could swap out for a Node Ryzeal or an Ice Ryzeal. It's completely up to you, but I just love this because I like it is win more, but I like the fact that it's also a monster negated on top of everything, which is really, really nice. But yeah, especially you punish players who wait for your entire White Forest combo to resolve, go to the end phase, and then they nib you, or attempt to enter end phase and then they go still in main nib. You kind of punish them because you do this right at the end, and then they can't really nib you because now you've got the protection. And then we look at non-engine pot, because we play, I think this is a 50 card list. Forgive me, I haven't checked. It's been a week since I've touched the deck. We play a pot, and we play a Cold Buy. Cold Buy is essential in this format. Like there's so many things. It's like Cold Buy is really, really good. Especially with people playing the Azamina package, you can just Cold Buy the Omni. You can do quite a lot. Actually, Cold Buy aggregator is the funniest thing in the world. But yeah. And then because we're playing a White Forest deck, you have to play 3, or you can even play 1, but Vela. The one thing where people may disagree with the way I built this deck is you're going to see a lot of spell and traps, obviously, because you want discard fodders. It's very rare chances that you play hand traps like this. But yeah, 3 Vela solely because it's searchable, 3 Imperm. And then from there, we play 2 Thrust and 3 Talent. This is a god card in this format, especially in this deck, because what you can do is you find a way for your opponent to use a detonator effect, Thrust or Talents, steal their detonator, swing with their detonator, slap a Zeus on top of it, wipe their board, and then go White Forest combo. It's just a really neat line that you can do, right? And there's so many other things that you can still, you can draw, you can look at the hand. There's some really good things, and the third thrust is in the side. But we'll get there when we get there. But I really love this. It's really strong. Yeah. And then, because of course White Forest, we play a lot of spell traps, Droplet just becomes a god card now, because like you could go wanted, right? You're going second, you can go wanted, chain Droplet, like you just cook you cook the detonator. It's like, it's wild, right? But again, this Droplet is up to you. You could play Droplet, you can play Book of Eclipse. This is the one flex spot in the deck for me. And then the three like mandatory, like, and I know I said play heavy spell trap package because it's White Forest, but you have to play Bestial. You need to have something to check Fiendsmith, because Fiendsmith is a little bit the one kind of engine that is hard to deal with this deck, right? Because you start to see them go and do crazy shit on your turn, and you just want to get rid of their resources while giving you parties to then make SP and start banishing more of their Fiendsmith cards in the graveyard. Start banishing Lacrima, start banishing Requiem, start banishing Engraver. Then you know this alone will shut off that, right? And then with this, an SP will start shutting that off. Then you can play freely, right? Because Fiendsmith is quite annoying to deal with, and then we all know that when you play against Fiendsmith, Fiendsmith is not the actual deck. It's probably Ryzeal, it's probably Malice, it's probably something else. Fiendsmith is just trying to bait everything out, and then yeah, you just kind of suffer from there. But yeah, that's the main deck. Let's move to the extra deck. We play the Rushia, we play, where are you? We play the Book of Eclipse, and we play the Diabol. These are mandatory, non-optional. You cannot debate on this, obviously. Play these three, and then the additional synchros that I play, Zapashump, really good. You always kind of want to make this off of this, right? To then be able to Chaos Angel on your opponent's turn, which is really good, and then usually save the woes to make that, right? So people usually go woes, book, put back, Diabol, summon, and book again. But I feel like you save that for that. That goes into Zapashump, which can go into the Chaos Angel, and you just make them suffer. Or you can optionally make Chinging. It's completely up to you. So it's those 6. And then the one card that I don't know why people are not playing, and thank you to my friend and teammate Caden, Blackwing Nathung. Broken card. Number 1, it's a time card. Number 2, it is one of the few nice ways to make a Light and Dark Chaos Angel, because this and any of the level 4s, and there you go, Light and Dark Chaos Angel. This is the synchro package. Nathung is MVP of this entire extra deck. For me, it saves you in so many instances, because sometimes you're so focused on the grind, you're not actually looking at time, right? And you're just trying to simplify, outgrind, and try and kill, and then build up your board again, and then it's time, and then you're like, okay, now I need to burn. I couldn't kill, I just need to burn, and then there you go. And as for the fusions, we play the Murcielago and the Sylvia, standard from Snake Eyes. So obviously, if you open Diabol Star, you make this one off of the Deception, get the Wanted, do Crazy Line, try and bait interruptions. If you open Wanted, then you just hard make the Ilya Sylvia, because again, you can't really add. Or you can choose to go into this, but then you've already used your Wanted and blah blah blah. Point is, open up Wanted, you make Azamina, Ilya Sylvia. If you open up Diabol Star, you make Murcielago, and then you make Ilya Sylvia. And then from there, the links. Lina is a god card. If I had space, I'd play the Dark Charmer, but don't. But Lina is really good, especially considering we're playing a Ryzeal package. You can steal your opponent's detonator in the graveyard, activate the effect, attach, and now you've got a live detonator that's not your own. And then you can make your own detonator. You've got 2 detonators in rotation. SP, broken card. I wish I had space. I'd play IP as well. Unfortunately, there is no space. But again, like I said, with the Bestial package, this becomes a god card. Like Bestial package, if I had space for Striker Dragon, like I learned when I played Tempai, you link off the Bestial for Striker Dragon, get another body, SP, you banish the other card out of the graveyard. It's broken. But yeah, SP is either a failsafe, it's a bait at the start if you're going second and trying to clear out negates and interrupts, blah 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 blah, and then you go for White Forest line. But yeah, these two are really, really good. And then the XC's lines, aggregator of course for Ext, dual drive of course to when you get your two bodies. There's plenty in the deck. I'll show you the combo in the next video. And then this is where you add your Ryzeal, the 3 Ryzeal cards, or you add the cross and the sword, and then the sword will get you to the X. And then detonator. And the nice thing about dual drive is 9 times out of 10 your dual drive is never going to get interrupted, because it's one of the last things you do at the end of your combo, so they've already wasted their negates. So dual drive is most likely going to always resolve. And then your detonator, and then because you play a thrust talent package, we have to play Zeus because you steal your opponent's detonator. Now you own a detonator, swing in the battle phase, and then all you do is this, and then you go detach 2, and they are cooked, because now you've broken the entire board and you haven't even started White Forest combo. But yeah, that's the deck and the extra deck, and then we'll run through the side really quickly. For the side, and again, there's very specific ways to side deck. Everyone has their own technique on how to side. I look at my deck, I fan it out like perfectly, and I put myself in the scenario of going first against Ryzeal, against Malice, blah blah blah, going second against Malice, Ryzeal, see what I can side at, and that gives me a specific number of what I can put in my side. For example, I can play 8 going second cards, 3 going first card, yada yada yada. But yeah, started off the third thrust, and then thrust targets, duster, change of heart, beautiful in this format. The most, I don't know why people are not playing this. Ultimate Slayer is broken this format. Like, you send the Hearts of Crypta for Malice, you send the Detonator for Ryzeal, you can send Desiree. There's so many good targets to send back to the extra deck with Ulti Slayer, and they cannot respond with monsters. Broken card. And then for the going first, Daruma, D-Barrier, and Sanctum. Sanctum, broken card. If I had access to a Dagda, we could potentially play Dagda even, but I think 3 Thrust and a Sanctum is really, it does the job. Thrust package out the way. We of course play the 3 Lancia, because of course we play Dagda, Sanctum. And then the card that I think we should be playing more of, and if I had space I'd play this to 3, but Cyclone. Ryzeal Cross is annoying. It is such a broken card to have to deal with on your own. It's like the fact that it's a monster negate on top of like 3 pops, on top of aggregator negate, it's hard to deal with, and like I really don't want to deal with it, so Cyclone that card away. And then 3 Fuvaros. Fuvaros has always betrayed me in this deck. I really don't like it. I'm gonna cut this for Book of Eclipse maybe, or I'm gonna cut this for Phantasme, because Phantasme is also another very broken card. But yeah, the whole side deck is player preference. It's completely up to you, but this is just how I approach it. But yeah, that's the main deck, the extra deck, and the side deck. If you guys have any comments, as always, please drop them in the comments section down below. I will try and answer as much as I potentially can, and then you will see me in the next video where I show you how to actually cook this in a combo. But yeah, I'm going to be taking this deck to my regional at month end, and I'll post my results from there. But thank you so much for everyone who made it up to this point, and thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope it helped you. If it did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.